go to the viewer question. They will pop up on the screen. So now we have a question from Val Nueva. For Dave, I want to ask you about your anti for dying season. It's like Counter-Strike. How did you think that?
Well, actually, I had some ideas to do a video for dying season, but what I wanted to do, we couldn't afford it. And so actually, our drummer at the time, Darren Minter, had his friend Darren, his wife and him. They had a B horror movie company, and they agreed to do a video for us. And we told them what the song, was about. It's about the archaic, how archaic, war is in this day and age with all the technology that we're still shooting at each other, is what I wrote about. And so he came up with his own sort of interpretation of that. And we gave him creative license in the video. So it was a little bit of the idea for the song, and then a little bit of the filmmaker's interpretation as well.
Yeah, they were like horror movie filmmakers, so it's kind of like half the anti-war and half zombies.
Right, which didn't have anything to do with the song, but in the sense though, if you think about it, it's like where in the video the zombies sort of are killed in battle, but they're not zombies yet, but they come back to life, and they come back to life to basically eat and kill their battalion brothers. And much like just war now, it's just like we're just constantly, as a race of humans, as the human race goes on, we're just killing each other, and we just keep doing it. We keep making that mistake over and over again. We can't seem to find peace on this planet, and understand that this is it. This is our planet, and we need to figure it out, and we need to know how to cohabitate, and we just can't get out of our own way because humans are just basically bullheaded. So here we go.
Yeah.
Dying season.
So we have another question from Fanny's from Rock Da Vinci, Greece. So Empire of the Blind for you was a vision about last news of the world. Dave Kragen?
It's kind of the vision for it was kind of what would happen to, like, especially if you look at the album cover, what will happen to our society if we keep going down this road. And that was kind of the dark vision for it, of like, are we headed, we're a society that's headed for ruin if we don't kind of get it together, or wake up and stop being blind and realize what's going on and be good to each other. So I mean, like I said, whether it's Dave's lyrics for Dying Season or the lyrics that I wrote for Empire of the Blind, there are very common threads in all the Heathen stuff where it's a wake-up call for one thing or another, or a personal thing. Ultimately, the lyrics are all with positive intentions. We'll put it that way.
But we definitely, I think that I know for me as a songwriter, have tried to take from what's happening in the world and just in my life in general, and write about it in the best way that I know how. And so even on the Evolution of Chaos, songs like The Evolution of Chaos, I mean, what I wrote in there, sort of came to fruition. And it's, with how things have been in the last 10 years, where it's just like we're in such a chaotic state that, it sort of keeps everybody at bay because it's got us all divided. I think it's easier for the powers that be to sort of control us if they keep us divided. The old adage is divided and conquer, but united we stand, divided we fall. And that's what we need to achieve.
Yeah, well, and that's what the lyrics to the song "The Gods Divide" on the new record are about. Exactly that.
See, Kragen is as sick and twisted as I am.
Cool.
Cool. So we have a question from Brian Aroni. Will Heathen play Dublin when they toured the new album?
When we were working on our tour dates for the new album, Dublin was included. Unfortunately, all of those dates were canceled. We'll just have to see what happens. If things resolve themselves quickly, as we hope, then we would love to get out and tour. And if not, then we'll make more music and tour for both records. Who knows?
Yeah,
and I'll tell you that I'm sorry to interrupt you. On the first European tour with Sepultura, we were supposed to play in Dublin, and for whatever reason, the Dublin show was canceled. And half of my family is from Ireland. The last name is Rorik, and I was very excited. I'm half Italian and I'm half Irish, and I got to see Italy, but I didn't get to see Ireland. And I was really looking. What's that?
Where in Ireland?
Where are we from? I'm not exactly sure where the family's from.
Okay.
But I think it's close to Dublin.
Okay.
But just to see Ireland, just to be there, for this tour, I was so looking forward to that because I really would love to, put my feet in the grass for sure.
Cool. Another question from Ronan Canyon. Any live streaming shows?
You got one right now.
Yeah.
I can take requests.
Okay.
Live streaming shows are a little more difficult for us for this band because each one of us lives in a completely different place. We are spread out over 4 different states, and unfortunately, technology has not gotten to the point where we could actually play live without some kind of delay, between the two. A lot of the times when people see the live streaming shows or the jams, either the guys are in the same room playing together, or they basically pre-record it and put a video together. Like the quarantine jams that you guys see, they're not really playing together live. They're just all jamming to to a recording. So
you're not supposed to give that away.
It's better to have complete honesty and transparency, David. Anyway, I mean, we'll see. I think it would take too much money to get us all together to play a quarantine show. We'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. Personally, I would rather make more new music.
Cool.
That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we have a question from Chris Hatecoat. Dave, what's your favorite doom metal band? Trouble, Candlemas, and St. Vitus are awesome bands.
Well, I love Candlemas. I like Opeth.
Opeth is considered prog metal now.
Yeah. Well, to me, they're more doom. But Candlemas is definitely one of my favorites. Or what is it? What is the band? Sabaton?
Sabaton, no.
Interesting choice.
It's not doom.
That's more death metal. It's to me, it's doom. Okay, don't tell me.
I love Sabaton. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay. But no, I'd say Candlemas is probably one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Sure. And they've been around for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the band Trouble from Chicago, they have a kind of a Sabbathy doom metal feel as well, and they're definitely old school, but they're fairly Black Sabbath influenced, so it's very Sabbathy, and they can be melodic as well. But they're like kind of cross between power metal and doom metal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we played with them on 70,000 Tons of Metal.
Oh.
Or was that when I played with Exodus? I don't remember.
No, when I was there because
Okay, then it
those
was when I played with Exodus on 70,000.
When was that?
In 2018,
Oh,
I think.
2 years ago.
Yeah, it's all a blur.
Yeah.
When Heathen played, that was what, 2015?
Yes.
Yeah, 2015. That was the last Heathen show. Was the 70,000 times. We played 2 shows on that.
That's
on
right.
that shit.
Yeah, before I do the Brian's question, can I ask you, do you know any Irish band? Do you like any Irish band?
Gamma Bomb's Irish.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of which other ones besides Thin Lizzy.
There's only one. I was gonna say Thin Lizzy. That's it.
Okay.
I haven't heard of any of the other bands that Brian mentions, but I will say that the name Psychosis belongs to Psychosis. My Psychosis. They spell it differently though, so they spell it with a K. I haven't heard them. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, all of these are Irish bands.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Crossfire. I think maybe I've heard a song or two, but I didn't know they were an Irish band though. That's cool. I remember, like I said, in '91 on the Sepultura tour, I talked to a couple kids that came to one of the festivals, and they came from Ireland, and that at that time in '91 they said that the metal scene was really not that big in Ireland at the time. So I'm super happy that it's actually happening now, and that bands are going there to play. Because we want to spread the gospel of heavy metal as far as and wide as we can.
Dude, the shows that Exodus played in Dublin, and also in London, those audiences are so awesome to play for. I mean, like little club, sweaty, but everybody's super into the music, and it's just those are my favorite shows. I'd rather play in front of 500 fans that are just raging than play in front of 70,000 where you can see them about 100 yards away. I mean, it's right there in your face. I mean, I love the shows that I've gotten to play in Dublin, so I can't wait to go back.
Cool. We're waiting for you.
I see another one on the screen. Listed besides Heathen, what's your favorite thrash metal band? List as many as you can. Chris knows me well, and knows that I've already made my list on Spotify of my thrash metal classics list or whatever it is. I love the genre, and I mean, I wouldn't say that I know all of the super duper underground bands, but I know a lot of them, and I just love the genre, and I actually work with a lot of the bands that came out in the like late 80s, mid to late 80s, and I like trying to help them, continue their careers because they deserve it. They made so much great music that inspired me and I enjoyed listening to. So there are too many, Chris. Too many to mention.
Cool. Is this an old question, or is this somebody asking the same question?
This is the one that you didn't get to answer because your microphone cut out.
Oh, that's right. No, yeah. Well, my which metal singer? I would say early on it was definitely Ozzy Osbourne and Black Sabbath, and then Ian Gillan from Deep Purple, and then of course Dio, and then later on you've got Rob Halford, and I remember when Kirk Hammett actually turned me on to Iron Maiden. I think at that time Paul Di'Anno was still the singer, and I liked this. I liked the stuff, but vocally I was kind of like, yeah, okay. But when they got Bruce Dickinson, then it was on. Then I became an Iron Maiden fan. Although I love the old stuff with Paul Di'Anno now, but definitely Bruce Dickinson is just elite as a vocalist, and he's still so amazing, and it's pretty amazing to see somebody like that just keep on going, and still be able to kill it every time.
Absolutely. And he's an amazing human being because he's a pilot and he's a singer and he's a fencer and he's
Well, I've never met him. He could, never know. He might be mean.
Well, yeah.
Fuck off.
He's doing
like,
beer also.
Yeah.
Well, like when I met when we got done with our European tour, the first European tour, we went to see the Operation Rock and Roll show. It was a tour out with Judas Priest and Motorhead. A bunch of bands played, and Metal Church was on that. They were supposed to go to Europe with us, but they got offered that tour. We went to that show, and backstage, all the artists were back there, and I got to meet Lemmy and Filthy for the first time, and those guys couldn't have been cooler, And we were supposed to do a tour with Breaking the Silence with Motorhead, and because of management, they basically completely screwed up the whole thing, and we didn't get to go out on that tour. I think that one of the things that had that happen for us, I think Heathen really would have taken off in a big way back then. But I didn't even mention it to Lemmy, and Lemmy brought it up. He's like, "Oh, you sing for Heathen? Weren't you supposed to tour with us back in 1988?" And it was like, yeah. But super cool guys. And so most of the people that I've met that are like heroes of mine, so far they haven't disappointed, but you just never know, with people. And Bruce I've never met, so I don't know. Got to watch that guy.
Yeah. Next time you will meet Bruce.
Well, hopefully we'll get a supporting slot on their next tour.
Yeah.
That will be something. And
well, if Kragen's worth his weight in gold as a manager, he'll make it happen.
Yeah. So Kragen, bring Iron Maiden and Heathen to Dublin.
We would love to do that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we have a question from Ronan. Have you heard any of the new stuff of Virus, Onslaught, Evildead and Mr Bungle? What's your thoughts?
I would say yes. Virus, Coke from Virus sent me.
No coronavirus.
Yeah, he sent me a link to check out their stuff. Onslaught, I have. Evildead, my CD is ordered, but it hasn't arrived yet. There's some kind of weird distribution issue in the US, I guess. I haven't heard the new Mr. Bungle. I'm not a huge fan of Mr. Bungle, but I've heard all the recent thrash stuff. This one is a good one. If you like Sanctuary, this new reissue is killer. They remastered the album. There's demo tracks from this album, and there's a full live concert that Zeus, who worked on the Heathen album, actually mixed, and it's a great one. Let's see, this is a good reissue. Uncle Slam. Mm-hmm. This is some underground LA stuff. I need to get that one.
The new Mordred.
I need to get that one.
Nice. I have it in vinyl too, and I sang on this record too, so you got to get it.
I think I've seen Mordred a long time ago here in Dublin. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good friends.
In a small club.
Good friends of mine.
I saw Mordred at the country club with Testament, and I want to say it was Annihilator, but I don't remember if I'm right on that or not. That was on the Fool's Game tour.
Oh God, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the new Virus stuff and Onslaught, and I heard one song off the Mr. Bungle record. It's very different than the older stuff. It's more of a thrashy metal approach. Mm-hmm. And Mike's kind of a psycho, So whatever, you know what I mean? It's like come one, come all. You know what I mean? As long as it's heavy music, I want to support it, and so definitely anybody that hasn't checked it out, it's pretty thrashy. I want to hear more though. I like the new Onslaught. I think that it captures their sound quite nicely. And like I said, because of the playlist with Spotify, you know, I'm so privy to a lot of this new stuff that's coming out. I'll go on runs or long walks with my dog because my dog wants to walk for, you know, a couple miles every day. And so I just listen to music so I can just cruise and I'll take a look at, you know, something will come on and I'm like, what is that? And I look up and I'm like, oh, okay.
Nice,
There you go.
nice way to listen.
What's the band? Hornet's Nest or something like that. That's a really, I've heard a few songs from that band, super good. Or maybe the song's called Hornet's Nest. I have to look at the thing. I get them
I
all.
think it's the song name for
it. What's that? Oh, yeah, well, I forget the name of the band, but I mean, it's just so many cool, you know, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. I'm not one of those guys that just completely analyzes everything. I'm good at just being in the moment and listening. So Kragen is he's more like a student of things. He remembers everything. I'm like, what was that again?
Yeah, the band you're talking about is called Power Trip.
Oh, Power Trip. That's
okay.
Power Trip.
Oh,
yeah, I like their stuff. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I see another one from Metal Riot. He has several. Metal Riot is also from LA, and he and I talk on Facebook about the old days of the LA scene and going to the country club and a lot of the other places like Jezebel's. And anyway, there's a question on the screen from him, and it's asked if either of us ever met Dimebag before he died. I can say no. I did not get to meet Dimebag. I saw him from a distance at the NAMM show once. I have met Phil Anselmo, and I did meet the drummer, but I never got to meet Dimebag, sadly.
Vinnie Paul.
Yeah, that's right.
And
Vinnie Paul.
I met
yeah, we played some festival with whatever the band is that he is most recently in. I can't remember the name right now. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, never got to meet Dimebag. That would have been cool. He was supposed to be a great guy.
Yeah, it would be cool to see their show and so on. Unfortunately, not. But let's go to what.
Oh, hold on a second. I actually met Dimebag and Vinny. I didn't meet you know on Anselmo, but Phil Anselmo, but I went to see Skid Row and Pantera at the Oakland Auditorium, and I went there because I'd gone to see Skid Row up in Sacramento a couple months before, and hung out with Sebastian, and then we had finished the Victims record, and so I was bringing a record for Sebastian to turn him on to the Victims record. So I came to the show, and then I went backstage, and then I saw Vinny, and he's like, oh yeah, from Heathen, and he gave nice compliments about our drummer Darren Minter, and I told him, you know, what was up and everything, and I ended up giving that CD to him, and Dimebag was hanging out, super nice, but I got to talk to Vinny more, super nice guys. And a funny story is that on our first American tour across the states, we played a show in oh god, it was I think it was Fort Worth, Texas, and that club, the bartenders were Dimebag and Vinny's wives. I think maybe they were girlfriends at the time, but they ran the bar, and Pantera was out on tour at the time, and those ladies took such good care of us. I don't think I didn't have a beer in my hand the entire night. It was just incredible. They just took such great care of us. They were super sweet.
Amazing stories. So to round up, any things you have not done in your career and you would like to do? We know your Briz Dickey song, but
the tour with Iron Maiden is up there. That's up there. I don't. For me personally, I just want to release as much music as possible, and have a lot of stuff out there to get it out of my brain and onto wax or plastic or whatever it is, or digital. So yeah, I mean, for me, I'd love to do that. I'd love to see Heathen get the recognition that I think it deserves.
Yes.
So if we can make that happen, that would be fantastic.
And Dave?
I'm looking for a gold record.
And Hollywood star?
I'm really not joking. I mean, it's one of those things, you sort of like get involved. I mean, I do the music because I love it. Over the years, we've done a lot of great work, and it would just be really cool to have something like that to sort of commemorate all that work. But no, I just like to be able to do this, until I drop, and I just want to stay healthy enough to do it. And right now we're in a situation where we can't even get together to play together. And I was looking so forward to getting in the room to rehearse this stuff and get on the road and spend time with my brothers. I love it. I love being out on the road. I love all the people on the road that we meet and that we get to meet again and again, the relationships. And I just want to keep that going for as long as we can,
Yes,
I'll take a gold record too.
And then there's the gold record. Maybe a couple.
Yeah, that's a good roundup and a good target. So we hope ourselves you get a gold record and go on tour on Iron Maiden. So these were all the questions.
I would like to make one question because I've seen that, guys, you have a lot of CDs and vinyls. Can you tell me how big is your collection?
My collection is overflowing. I don't actually have room for all of it. I have stacks on my desk of all the current stuff. So, and then I have more. So it's too many.
And
and what ends up happening is I get the CDs now and I rip them and I put them in my digital library. So now I have both.
Yeah. Okay.
That's all vinyl, right?
Yes, vinyl.
That's vinyl. And I've seen bigger collections of vinyl, but through all the years, I kept all the vinyl I had, and now I've been adding to them because I just love it, and I fixed up my turntable so I play records all the time, and then nice. I have books. Oh, that's so heavy. Sorry. I have books like this.
Okay, we see this.
Can you see that book? This is loaded with sleeve after sleeve after sleeve, and I have 6 of these books, and they're filled with CDs.
Okay, great.
It's just literally filled with CDs, and and I even have a box of cassettes.
Oh, tapes. Yes.
Yeah. And even though I don't even have a tape player, I can't bear to part with them. I just can't. Mm-hmm. There's bands, there's stuff in there. I was looking through it the other day. There's stuff in there like, oh God, that's right. I have that. When it comes to music, I even have old demo discs that I didn't write anything. It's like, oh, I got to go back and put that in. What's that? What's on there? Yeah. It's just hard to let go of any kind of music. I try to keep it all.
I have Lee's personal Exodus demos on my desk. All of his original collection from when he was just a fan of Exodus. So
wow.
I've been tasked with transferring them to digital. So
oh, you have drum kit?
Hidden talents.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that was from the last. The drum head was from the last tour. I actually ended up with the 2 drum heads with the logos on them. And I told Kragen we'll use them for the next tour. He's like, no, we're getting the full artwork from Empire of the Blind on the drums. they
Yeah,
said. So I'm like, oh,
that would be nice.
okay.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I couldn't argue with that.
We had big plans and they all fell apart, but that's okay.
But you will come bigger. So
we will do our best. Yes.
yeah. So with this, so that was all the questions. So any final words, Dave, Kragen?
I would just
Well, I
like
just
to
wanna
say, yeah, I think
Hey,
we
don't-
basically are going to say the same thing.
Go ahead, Kragen. You speak first.
I was just going to say we just want to thank all the fans for their support, and we appreciate everybody's attention that they gave to the new record, Empire of the Blind. And if you haven't checked it out, go check it out, please.
Buy stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say thank you, and I thank you to you guys for doing this.
Absolutely.
Not just for us, but for for everything you're trying to do. Because it helps to keep the metal thing going. We don't exist without you guys, and the media, the magazines, all of it. You guys do a great service, and you're part of the family, and just know that we appreciate you so much.
Yes, thank you guys.
To all the fans, you guys are awesome, and we'll come see you.
Yeah, thank you for everybody that joined in and asked the question in the chat and everything. It was killer.
Thanks to you guys. Thanks a lot for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So thank you, Kragen.
And see you live with Iron Maiden.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, Kragen and Dave, for joining us. And we want to thank as well the viewers who participated, shared the event. And if you like the interview, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram for more news and awesome stuff from the Metal Galaxy. And we will provide all links to support Heathen, which you'll find also below and in the groups. So see you next time then.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.